today Jonathan Rankin, J-Rank, known as Red Backpack Kid back in the day.
Back in the day.
And Travis Standiford, BSTS.
He's also been around back in the day. Back in the day, he actually competed in the Battle for Seattle back in 2006, 10 years ago. He's been playing at this competitive Pokemon officially for 10 years now. So J-Rank currently is sitting at 192 CP. He's been to 2 different regionals and had success at both of them. He ended up at the top 8 in one, the top 16 in the other. Travis hasn't had that much success yet. He hasn't broken into the top 64 for championship points yet. So both players are going to have to try really hard to make this regional count, get in, better secure perhaps a stipend at nationals. Anyway, we're jumping to team preview here.
So you can see Jonathan's team on your screen right now: Virizion, Landorus, Mawile, Rotom Wash, Hydreigon, and Talonflame. Travis on the bottom of your screen: Ludicolo, Salamence, Terrakion, Aegislash, Politoed, and Thundurus.
So, interesting team matchups here. I see that Virizion and Jonathan's team might be a bit of a problem for Travis's very rain-based team. Well, it's just Ludicolo and Politoed mostly. Salamence also could pose some problems for the Salamence. So, clear Travis is using Salamence potentially to counteract the Virizion here, as well as although depending on whether or not it has a dragon move, it may or may not be checked by that Hydreigon there.
Well, we can anticipate a Mega Mawile on J-Rank's side.
We're in round 3, so
yeah.
Something else.
Yeah. We are in round 3 at the moment.
We will fix that
Momentarily. Yeah. Just one moment here while I adjust some settings. And there we go, round 3.
All right.
So, potential leads here. It's hard to tell what might be a lead on Jonathan's team aside from the Landers there, but it probably wouldn't match him very well against the typical rain lead Ludicolo and Politoed here. So, Jonathan's probably going to have to rely on tough defensive switch-ins here rather than a strong offensive lead.
So Travis decides to lead with Salamence and Thundurus while Jonathan is sending out Mawile and Rotom.
So, okay, intimidates on, looks like both sides here. Both neutralizing their main Mega's attack power on the get-go. And of course, Rotom from Jonathan's side threatening with a potential Will-O-Wisp, but there's always Thundurus. You can spread around some Thunder Waves. Probably won't have anything to do to reduce the attack power of that Mawile. Maybe some taunt on that Rotom. But I actually think Jonathan has a slight edge on offensive potential here, since Play Rough would take out Salamence right away. So
we anticipate switching.
Definitely some switching here from Travis's side here. Unless Salamence has some Flamethrower to take out Mawile. A double target on Mawile slot here.
Well, he also has some rain Pokemon on his team, so
that's true.
He might have Flamethrower. Jonathan decides to keep his Mawile in, Mega Evolves the first turn. That's going to increase its attack stat greatly, despite that Intimidate, as Salamence decides to protect itself.
So, looks like Travis is saving that Mega Evolution for later, if he even has one. I mean, it could be a Mega-less team. There's no other potential Megas in the teams, but it's entirely possible.
Travis goes for a Swagger onto Rotom, hoping that it'll hit itself in confusion, and indeed it does.
A little damage, but it's not doing anything this round. Oh, and Jonathan predicting a Protect from that Salamence there. Good call. Takes a big chunk of damage off Thundurus, but it's pretty defensively, physically defensively bulky. Takes only a half damage from that, recovers with a Citrus Berry.
He would need at least 2 more hits from that Mawile to be successful in knocking out the Thundurus.
So, yeah. I mean, that would have actually been a good chance for the Mega Evolution there, but who knows? But it's too early to tell what Travis's plan might be. I still expect some switch-ins here, unless Travis can get a fire attack onto the Mawile. We'll have to see.
You could also paralyze that Mawile and hope that some paralysis gets off. Probably wouldn't want to Swagger it, but unless things get desperate.
Probably. I mean, it's way too early to get desperate, of course. by swaggering some physical attackers.
Which Pokemon do you think Travis might have brought that could be used to counter Mawile?
Well, the Aegis Slash is pretty solid Mawile counter most of the time. As long as it's not taunted, and I mean, Mawile has a hard time trying to sucker punch it.
Well, Travis has decided to replace that Salamence with Ludicolo instead, as Thundurus attacks that Mawile with Thunderbolt and does a really decent chunk of
That is
damage,
respectable damage.
60%. And we see an interesting move on the Rotom Wash, Confuse Ray.
That's actually something he used in one of his top 8 regional finishes this early winter. With that other play rough, Thundurus takes it pretty well. Actually, that would have been pretty bad if we're aiming for the Ludicolo there, but Jonathan's predictions are on point here.
He's got to make an interesting choice this next turn. We've seen how much damage that Thunderbolt does from Thundurus. He probably doesn't want to get his Mawile KO'd, but he also doesn't want to try and sucker punch it if it uses Thunder Wave or something else.
Yeah, I expect Jonathan's either going to have to switch or protect here to protect his Mawile, because what else could a fake out that'll disable the Mawile and prevent it from sucker punching. But that might give it a chance. But if Travis targets down the Mawile here, that gives Rotom a chance to counterattack, maybe go back on the offensive again, break out of confusion. Well, actually, sorry.
J-Rank decides to switch out his Rotom. Probably couldn't do much damage to either of those Pokemon anyways, and instead sends in his Hydreigon. Thundurus gets a Thunder Wave off on the Hydreigon.
That could be big. I mean, Hydreigon really needs that speed, and of course, the Sucker Punch fails on Thundurus there. It's like Ludicolo went for an attack, but no, hit itself.
In confusion.
Good try, though. Good try.
Interesting prediction from Travis, too, trying to Thunder Wave that Rotom slot. It wouldn't have hit if he left Rotom in, so...
That is true. It would have done nothing to Rotom. So, wow, that's a very risky and yet very strong prediction from Travis's part there. Probably sensing that there is nothing left for it to do there.
Yeah, perhaps predicting that Mawile Protect as you suggested. Either way, the Sucker Punch didn't hit and that Thundurus is still on the field.
So next turn, if Ludicolo doesn't hit itself, you might see an Ice Beam or a Scald from the Mawile slot. You could see another Thunder Wave from Thundurus or another Swagger onto the Hydreigon to nerf its potential even further.
J-Rank decides to switch out his Mawile and instead sends in Rotom again, hoping perhaps that the Thunder Wave would be targeted on Mawile. Instead, Thundurus does attack this turn, does about 30% damage to that Rotom, and Ludicolo once again hits itself in confusion. Hydreigon revealing Dark Pulse onto that Ludicolo. Does a really decent chunk of damage to especially bulky Pokemon like Ludicolo.
Despite the bad luck going in Travis' side here, I think he's still in a pretty respectable position. Jonathan hasn't been able to mount a serious offense yet and really put the pressure on Travis here. Meanwhile, if Ludicolo manages to snap out of confusion, he could drain the Rotom, gain some health back, get back in good position, and especially with some Swagger support from Thundurus there, giving it a chance to prevent Jonathan from attacking this turn. Let's see. No, Travis opts to save his Thundurus for later. Bring in Terrakion. Ooh, probably into potential Dark Pulse there. If that Dark Pulse hits, that would be a good prediction. That would boost Terrakion's attack power there.
Rotom is withdrawn, and Jonathan sends out Mawile, and Ludicolo finally able to get an attack off. Giga drains that Mawile, not very effective damage, but still did about 10-15% and gains a little bit of health back.
That's actually surprising health for surprising damage against something that resists and has pretty high defenses. So it looks like Jonathan isn't really investing in defenses on the Mawile here, probably in speed and attack, which is pretty odd. But
that was a good prediction on Travis's part, sending in that Terrakion, gets that justified boost off, a +1 attack, and with that Hydreigon so slow on the field from Paralysis, probably facing a knockout this turn.
I actually think a Rock Slide from the boost Terrakion would be able to KO Mawile at this point, assuming he doesn't miss, of course. And then, of course, with Hydreigon paralyzed and the potential for flinch, Who knows if Jonathan will get an attack off here? So things are looking up for Travis here. And of course, Ludicolo could just finish off things with an Ice Beam here, but no. Opts to save that Ludicolo for later, maybe bringing it for a fake out. Salamence getting an Intimidate off. Ooh.
Lower that Mawile's attack by 1 stage.
Yeah, maybe he doesn't need it now. I mean, the Mawile is likely to go down soon anyway. No. Jonathan counters, bringing his Landorus, intimidating, getting rid of that boost on the Terrakion. That would have been a good prediction. If Jonathan had predicted Mawile to survive here, which unfortunately it didn't, thanks to that critical hit. He could have gone for a play rough, taken out either Salamence or Terrakion. That would have been a good call. But no, he predicted the Sucker Punch here, hoping Ludicolo would attack instead. So, good switch prediction, but not so great prediction on the Sucker Punch there, unfortunately.
So now that Landorus is on the field, this could be an interesting position. Did we find out if it was scarfed already, or is this the first time we've seen it?
It is the first time we've seen it, but it probably is. I mean, they're usually either Choice Scarf or Assault Vest, and my money's on a Choice Scarf here. Choice item, especially with all of the Earthquake resists that Jonathan has on his team here.
If it is Choice Scarf, Jonathan's going to have to evaluate carefully what attack he decides to lock himself into. He only has 1 Pokemon left in the back. If, let's say, Rotom goes down this turn, probably unlikely.
Oh, yeah. That's also a big consideration there. And we finally see the Mega Evolution from Travis here. So, good call in saving that Intimidate for later as it weakens Landorus here. There goes the Rock Slide.
Goes for the Rock Slide on both Pokemon, does connect with both, and does a decent amount of damage.
Not Choice Scarf. Double Edge in the Rotom resisted. Oh, he probably thought it would take it out, but so close. So close.
Landorus returns with its own Rock Slide. It will hit Salamence for super effective damage. It's about 50%, not very much to the Terrakion. And a Rotom revealing Hydro Pump into that Terrakion. Does connect and knocks that Terrakion out.
Oh.
Interesting turn.
Well, now here's where I'm curious. Is that Salamence a mixed mess with both Double Edge and Hyper Voice, or is it perhaps a Dragon Dance varieties? But a Hyper Voice here could probably take out Rotom and Landorus. Well, maybe not Landorus. I'm now leaning towards Assault Vest as its potential item here. But Travis is still in a very strong position despite losing the Terrakion and bringing it down to 3-3.
And although the numbers are equal, look at the HP stats of Jonathan's Pokemon. Rotom easily within knockout range of any attack that Travis can send off with that newly added Thundurus.
Interesting choice to bring in Thundurus. Both Salamence and Thundurus are pretty weakened. If Landorus manages to survive this turn and get off a Rock Slide, this could go from 3-3 to 3-1 or 2-1 pretty quickly.
So obviously the priority has to be eliminate that Landorus. We've seen that it's slower than Salamence. I think Salamence can knock it out.
Well, so Salamence is probably targeting down the Landorus there. Jonathan opts to save Landorus for later, bring in the weakened Hydreigon and take a Double Edge. And yeah, the Hydro does go in that slot. Takes a lot of recoil.
Thundurus with a Thunderbolt onto that Rotom is enough to knock it out, so Jonathan's down to his last 2 Pokemon and didn't get any damage off this turn with that Hydreigon switching.
Okay. It's a little more precarious for Travis here if either Hydreigon, if Landorus survives, of course, and if Hydreigon, I don't think Hydreigon's going to do much, even if it manages to get an attack off this turn. Of course, I could be wrong on the Assault Vest. Maybe that Landorus has a surprise Protect, in which case, Hydreigon could take out that Salamence right there. But
we'll see what Jonathan decided to use. I mean, it could be holding a Lungberry, if anything.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the timer is still in Travis's favor now. He's up 3-2. And with under 3 minutes on the clock there, Travis opts to preserve Salamence, getting rid of that Intimidate drop.
And instead sends in Ludicolo. Landorus with a rock slide. Was
Wow,
faster than
that was
Thunderous.
fast.
That was interesting. And it
Oh.
almost manages to knock out the Ludicolo.
Uh-oh.
So Travis going from that favorable 3-2 matchup.
To
and now he's
2-1.
lost with Landorus.
Oh no. That might have been
That was,
a bad call, not attacking straight away.
what do you think he was trying to accomplish with that switch?
Well, obviously he wanted to reset the attack, but the thing is, now both Landorus and Hydreigon can attack. He can
Yeah.
only attack one at a time unless he has Hydro Voice, but I don't think it's going to take out the Landorus. So,
I
it just
hope that the Landorus misses that
in
rock
the span,
slide.
the span of one turn, this match turned from being in Travis's
Yeah.
having control over the whole match to being in a very desperate position.
He's got a couple options. I mean, he can hope for luck. You know, Landorus' rock slide could miss. Hydreigon could finally become fully paralyzed. We haven't seen that yet this match.
Yeah, double edge in the Landorus slot. That finishes off.
Oh, does knock it out. Hoping that Hydreigon is fully
Hydreigon
paralyzed.
Is got his fingers crossed. No.
Jonathan just manages to take this match. That was
Wow.
so close.
That,
Salamence goes down and out. So J-Rank manages to take that match. That was a pretty exciting end.
I'm stunned. I'm stunned at how quickly this match turned around. And I mean, I've seen it before, but still, it's
So it's like, don't give up whenever you seem like there are no options. Because Jonathan managed to pull through that. It's a good thing that he kept a level head too, because sometimes